People are not born intolerant. They don't come into this world hating those that are different from themselves. People learn to hate. And that's good news, because that means that hatred can be overcome if we're also willing to teach respect and acceptance. The Anti-Defamation League is the nation's premier civil rights human relations agency standing against all forms of bigotry. It was founded in 1913, almost 100 years ago, to stop the defamation of the Jewish people and to secure justice and fair treatment to all people. That means protecting everyone's civil rights. In Central Texas, the ADL, in addition to its work with law enforcement and its time spent on problems that arise, has an ADL No Place for Hate program that's been in over 100 participating schools, teaching thousands of children about inclusion and respect. And the message goes beyond religion. It goes beyond race and includes things like countering cyberbullying. ADL has found that prejudice is an equal opportunity offender. People with anti-Semitic feelings are also often racist or homophobic and quick to ethnic slights. Prejudice and hatred can threaten any of us or our friends, and that's why all of us need to stand against it. And because, as we learn in history, it can spread rapidly and disastrously. There's not much difference between folks who have crossed into the extremist fringes of society, people who will resort to violence, and those who are just inside the fringe. What happens in a society like Germany before World War II, I think, is that folks that are close to the fringes make that small half step to join those folks that are outside of them. It's not a big distance after all, and no one says anything. And then later, folks next to the ones that have moved, well, they make the same half-step jump to the outside, and still no one says anything. And over time, more and more people step beyond a boundary that no one should cross. Some do it without realizing what they've done. And as this happens, the measure in society of what will be tolerated begins to expand. Where the boundary is between right and wrong becomes uncertain and hazy until it's too late, until too many people have crossed over, until extremism doesn't seem to be extreme anymore. Well, ADL is in the business of setting boundaries, making it very clear where those boundaries are and not letting anyone innocently or intentionally crossing that line. All of us share the responsibility for holding those boundaries and calling out those who would transgress them. And the ADL is there to shine light on the hatred that would otherwise fester and grow in the darkness until it would overtake us. The darkness is not the evil itself. The darkness is the environment in which that evil takes root. The darkness is apathy. It's seeing injustice or suffering and feeling badly, but doing nothing. It's the reasonable, run-of-the-mill apathy of good people with good intentions. It's silence in the face of oppression, and it's silence that makes violence possible. This is a silence that sounds like acquiescence, or maybe even approval. For when we pretend not to see injustice, we have joined forces with those that would commit it. Nobel Prize winner and Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel wrote that the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. We are the ones that create the darkness when we don't stand up, when we don't shout out, whenever or wherever we see injustice, even and perhaps especially when those around us are being quiet. When we don't put the spotlight on evil, on those half steps to the outside. When was the last time someone in our presence told a racial or an ethnic joke? And what did we do? And if we were silent, why? Our honorees tonight, Amy and Kirk Rudy, and Larry Conley and James Armstrong, have shown us how to deny hate the darkness that it needs to multiply. Their witness is loud and visible. They hold boundaries with courage and grace. Their values are the values of the ADL, and they provide an example for all of us. They shine a very bright light from which injustice cannot hide and in which injustice cannot endure. And by your presence here tonight, you add to that light because you focus attention. Together, you collectively make a very visible and concrete statement that Austin is no place for hate. So as we begin our evening, we would like to invite you to join us in a symbolic recognition of the light that we as a group and as a community can shine. On your table, there's some matches. They say no place for hate. There are some votive candles. If you'd go ahead and light those, please join us in bringing a little light to this room. On behalf of the ADL, for the light that you bring tonight, we welcome you and we thank you for being here. Before we move on to dinner, there are some elected officials who have joined us tonight and make a very important and public statement by being here. I'm going to read through the list quickly so that we know who's in the room. We have United States Federal Magistrate Robert Pittman. We have State Senator Kirk Watson. We have City of Austin Mayor Lee Leffingwell, State Representative Elliot Neistat, State Representative Donna Dukes, State Representative Eddie Rodriguez, State Representative Patrick Rose, State Representative Mark Strama. We have Austin City Council Member Chris Riley, and Council Member Randy Shade, Council Member Laura Spellman, Council Member Cheryl Crow. We have State District Judge Wilford Flowers, and we have Jim Strickland, who's president of the Eanes Independent School District Board of Trustees. We also have with us, thank you. We also have with us several former elected officials that I want to recognize. The Honorable Ben Barnes, former Lieutenant Governor, Honorable Gary Morrow, former Texas Land Commissioner, the Honorable Joe Christie, former State Senator, and the Honorable Bill White, former Mayor, City of Houston. And we want to thank, real quickly, our major financial supporters this evening: Endeavor Real Estate, Lily and Igal Saad, Austin Ventures, Jeannie and Mickey Klein, the Austin Post, and John and Julie Thornton. Thank you.